I am in Orlando, Florida, and the reason I'm in Orlando, Florida is to experience specifically this train that is about to depart behind me. This is the BrightLine from Orlando to Miami. There are a couple of things about this train that make it worth experiencing. First of all, it is the newest passenger rail service in the United States. It is the only privately owned passenger rail system in the United States. And aside from the Acela on Amtrak, the BrightLine is the only technically high-speed rail service in the United States. It runs entirely on privately owned rail lines, and we're going to get to see it leave. So I just dropped off my mom at the airport. She's flying back to Nashville to go visit my other sister, and I am on the Terminal Link train, and I'm heading from Terminal A to Terminal C, where I'm going to be boarding the BrightLine train. This is really exciting because the BrightLine train is the newest passenger train system in America, and it's been around for a few years. Last fall, winter, they just opened up the extension which connects Orlando to Miami. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm traveling from Orlando to Miami and then back again. Everything's pretty well digital. I've got my app for the BrightLine with my ticket, and I'm pretty sure I just scanned that to get into the station. There's a train down there, so I'd like to go check that out before they leave the station. If you don't have a ticket already bought online, they do have kiosks that allow you to buy the tickets when you get inside the terminal here. So it's as easy as scanning right here, and oh, yep, and it gave me access. All right, there is security. Normal security, just like you're going through an airport. So let's take that to. I'm all checked in, and actually I was scheduled for an 11:45 train ride, but I actually went and just changed my trip. I'm going to be heading down to Miami on an earlier train. I think it's the 9:50, so I'm just going to hang out here in the Smart Lounge and get my devices charged, because they do provide charging at pretty much every seat has a charging port throughout the Smart Lounge. Now this is the lowest fare, is the Smart fare, and then they have the premium fare on top of that. So I'm riding the Smart fare all the way down to Miami, and then I'm going to change things up a little bit and get into the premium class and check out the lounge there, and then enjoy the premium service on the way back up to Orlando. Every one of their train stations has this Mary Mary sort of bar, and even though I'm traveling on the Smart fare, I don't get anything included. I figured I should check out their bar and see what their offerings are, and maybe get something before my train leaves here in about 20 minutes. All right, there might be some extra value in the premium ticket, because this Bloody Mary, which looks amazing, is 15 bucks. I should be boarding here, they said, in the next couple of minutes. We'll get that on camera too.
We're all beginning boarding for the 9:50 train heading south to Miami with stops in Palm Beach, Florida, and Ventura.
Boarding.
We would like to practice guests traveling with strollers, heavy luggage, or assistive devices to light always convenient.
I just got the page for boarding, and the Smart cabins, the premium cabins, apparently they got different rails, escalators. So I'm heading down the escalators by security because I'm in car 4, and we're going to be boarding back here. Got all sorts of options for travel here. So like I said, there are 2 fare classes. I'm in their Smart fare on the way down to Miami, and I'm in the premium cabins on the way back up to Orlando. You can see these are the BrightLine cars behind me. One thing that they're very proud of is all of these cars and their engines are manufactured in the United States, manufactured using American labor, and I believe a lot of American steel and products like that. I think that's Coach 3 and Coach 4. Good morning. Something I learned earlier is that all of the trains have their own color. So we are on bright pink heading down to Orlando or Miami. Sounds like we're getting ready to go. But this is the smart cabin, the smart car. This is their lowest fare. These tickets were pretty affordable, but the seats are really comfortable. This is where I'm at right here. We're getting ready to get going here. They won't let you stick your head out the window on the go, but just to give you an idea, the train, I'm at the very back of the train. You've got these extendable steps that make it easy to get out there. Now it's time to get ready for the trip. We're stopping at West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Avenida, and then Miami. The train is underway, and I gotta say, already I can tell it's a really smooth ride compared to some of the other trains that I've been on. We are going fairly slow right now because there's an inbound train heading into the station. They share the tracks, so we're waiting for them to get past a certain station so that we can speed up. Cool thing about the BrightLine is that as far as trains go in the United States, it is the fastest train, with the exception being the Amtrak Acela train, which is able to move faster, but this train is, by all accounts, the only high-speed passenger carrier train in the United States. It is super smooth. I can't wait for us to get going, and then I'm going to give a little bit more of a tour of the train. I'm in one of the smart cars. There's 3 more smart cars ahead of this one, and then the premium cars, and it looks like passengers are able to move between the cars, so hopefully I'll be able to get a look around. Initial impressions so far: seats are super comfortable in the smart cabin. The power outlets are great, the tray tables are great, and the train is super smooth, very modern, nice, comfortable. So I'm pretty excited. And we're going right past the Orlando airport right now. Being a pilot, I like airports. Oh. All right, time to go for a walk. Since we've been moving for a little while now, I figured I'd go check things out. All of the BrightLine cars have this awesome wrap that they do, graphics for the BrightLine, and it does cover up the windows, so that kind of makes it a little difficult to see outside. There's a lot of Florida scenery that's going by. We've already turned south and we're heading towards Miami, but this wrap makes it hard to kind of, one, take video out of it, but also two, just to really enjoy the view, because once you get close, what you get is this grid from the wrap. It looks really good from the outside, but it makes it hard to enjoy the views that are outside. I think this is the biggest bathroom on a train. It is definitely the biggest bathroom on a train that I've ever been in. We've got this full station here, water, air, soap, etc. Giant mirror, hey, that's me. Folding table, bathroom, toilet, whatever. Easily the biggest bathroom that I've ever been in on a train. Easily. We're getting ready for our first stop. We are arriving in West Palm Beach, and we're gonna be here, they said, just for 2 minutes, a real quick stop, open up the door, let people off and on, and then it'll be continuing back on towards Miami. So it'll be neat to see what the first stop looks like and how the BrightLine team manages that quick turnaround. Real quick stop at Palm Beach, matter of a couple of minutes. Load people up, get them into their seats, and then it's back onto the train, and we get back going down towards Miami. That's fast. They were able to just get everyone on board super quick. And just like that, the train is loaded. They're giving the thumbs up signs, and it is time for us to get going again now towards the next stop. And just like that, we've arrived in Miami at the Miami station. So they're flipping the train right now. I mean, as soon as we got here, we are running a little bit late. Service people showed up. They started emptying out all of the concessions, emptying out all the trash. And so they're doing a quick turn on it because this train is heading immediately right back up to Orlando. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can't see the engine, if the engineer's available. Otherwise, I'm going to head into the station and take a look at that. I tried to change my ticket, my return ticket, so I could go back to Orlando earlier, but the difference in fare is about $160. So I got 5 hours to kill in Miami. I'm gonna go get some tacos and then maybe come back here and hang out in the lounge for a little bit and see what that does for me. So I've only got like 5 hours to kill in Miami before my train up to Orlando. I decided that it was going to be worth it to stop and get some tacos and take in a little bit of the traffic of downtown Miami. Not exactly an ideal situation, but the tacos look amazing, and then I'll head back over to the BrightLine station for the trip up to Orlando. I think these are some of the best tacos that I have ever had. These are amazing. It was almost worth the round trip train fare to come down to Miami just to have these tacos. Like, this wasn't part of the plan, but I'm glad that it worked out because these are stupid good. This is amazing. This is Talkin tacos in Brickell, downtown Miami. And hot damn, these are delicious. One of the cool things about being booked up to Orlando in the premium class now is that BrightLine actually provides an Uber, and they just organize that Uber booking through the app, and they service calls and books and sets up the pickup location, or confirms the pickup location anyway. So it's the first time I've ever done anything like this, and I'm going to get out of this guy's way. Now I'm just waiting for my Uber driver to get here. Again, this is all arranged through the BrightLine booking system. This is where the experience changes. So on my trip back up from Miami to Orlando, I'm going in their premium class, and it includes things like BrightLine Plus. And what that is BrightLine will actually pay for you to Uber to and from their station within a 5-mile radius. They arrange it in the app, the car comes and gets you, they confirm all digitally, and this is where the premium ticket starts to pay off. Same as with the BrightLine station in Orlando, there are ticket kiosks here that allow you to purchase your tickets in the station if you haven't bought them online. I'm heading upstairs. Let's take a look at that premium lounge. All right, so I'm about to go into the premium lounge. Now this is separate from the main train station itself. They've got their own turnstiles. Once you're inside the station, you gotta scan your boarding pass one more time. They actually have their own taps with a couple of different choices of beers and wines that you can just pour for yourself. They've also got access to soda and some coffee, and there's food over there. The premium lounge is definitely a step up in the experience from the smart lounge. We're just getting the page. It's time to board. This was a real quick day in Miami. We just spent the last couple of hours in the premium lounge here. So now it's time to see what the premium class is like. I think I'm going to enjoy it for the next 3.5 hours. So unlike on the ride down, I'm actually in coach, or I was in coach on the ride down. So the difference is this time I'm in the premium cabin. And so I'm heading all the way up to cabin 1, which is specifically reserved for the premium fare seats. One of the first notable differences of the premier class or the premium class is that onboarding they gave us these chilled sort of wipe things to clean up before the trip. Some of the differences in the premium class is drinks and snacks are provided. The jalapeno margarita was recommended as a top seller. Ooh, and I can see why. That's really dang good. I also had some peanut M&Ms and some Pringles just to kind of get me through the train ride back all the way to Orlando. So again, the premium class, though a lot pricier, is starting to show some of its benefits in the extras that come with it. We're about to pull into West Palm Beach. This is the last of the few stops that are just out of Miami before we do the long run all the way up to Orlando. So I don't actually have any business getting off the train in West Palm Beach because I'm not getting off here. It's a real quick stop and they're already closing the doors. But I feel like it's the last fresh air stop before we get to Orlando. So it was important to hop off and take a little bit of that fresh air. And then from West Palm Beach on, it's all track until we get to Orlando. Something worth mentioning is that there are a few sections on the train that have these sort of tables in the middle of them. There's this one over here. Now, premium class, and if you remember from the smart class, that was a 2-2 configuration. Premium class, as you can see, is a 1-2 configuration. So even in this area that's got the table here, it's still a 1-1. So if you're just traveling as 2 people, that's a great option. And if you're traveling as a small group, this is a great option. I've taken this table so I've got an area to work. Another difference in the premium class is the quality of food and beverage that we are receiving. I just had a Italian sandwich dropped off to me, as well as like a little bit of a tomato salad, a bit of a fruit salad, and some chocolate. That's just a dinner option for me that is, I'm on the late night train heading to Orlando. So this is a great way to kind of keep plussing up the caliber of service that we're receiving in the premium class. I'm loving it so far. This has been great. Let's summarize the BrightLine experience that I just had today. There are 2 fare classes available to you. There's Smart, which is their economy sort of offering, and there's Premium, which is their business class or first class sort of offering. Ticket prices vary based on the day you're traveling on and the time that you're traveling. I saw premium and economy fares, premium and smart fares for today that range from $75 up to almost $300, depending on which class you were traveling in and depending on which time you selected for your trip. For me, $75 from Orlando all the way to Miami. That was a smart ticket. My smart ticket got me a seat that was super comfortable. In fact, it was as comfortable as the premium seats that I have right now on my trip back to Orlando. The only big difference is that these seats are a couple of inches wider. In the smart cabin, I had one dedicated charging outlet that was specifically for me, but because nobody was seated next to me in that 2-2 seating configuration, I actually had 2 charging outlets that I was able to use on that trip up. In the premium cabin, I've got the same number of outlets. So what I'm really getting in terms of comfort is a couple of inches, but the same quality of seat that I had in the smart cabin. My premium ticket cost me $150 to get me back from Miami to Orlando. So essentially double the ticket price. The first thing that I'm getting that is different is that I had that access to Uber. I had the Uber ride from wherever the heck I was within 5 miles to the BrightLine station. And when I get to Orlando, I'm going to have an Uber available to me to get me from the BrightLine station in Orlando to somewhere within 5 miles. Anything beyond that 5 miles, you do pay that difference in the Uber app. It also included access to the premium lounge. While I was in the lounge, I had unlimited beer, wine, soda, water, coffee. They also had a buffet that was available with snacks such as charcuterie and some sort of tacos, it looked like today. One of the other cool things that premium does get you in, and I think the most value you see, is when you're on the train and you're traveling and you actually get access to food and drink offerings that are on the train. Premium does get you the bigger seat, but it's the same comfort as Smart. It gets you access to food and drink, which in the Smart cabin costs an arm and a leg. There are no rules against you bringing your own food and drink on the train. So long as it's in your carry-on bag, you could bring your own snacks, you could bring your own drinks, and you could have a very affordable trip. Do I think that this train has value? Absolutely. It's a high-speed train in the United States, and for the state of Florida, it connects us in a way that allows us to go from one place to another in a really relatively easy way. I would love to see this connect through to Tampa and then continue to connect up north to Jacksonville, where I live, because that would just make it accessible to go to all parts of the state. And I enjoyed my time on the train. If BrightLine continues to expand, and I'm going to be a repeat customer on this train as a Florida resident. If you're a visitor to the state of Florida, BrightLine gives you the ability to travel from Orlando to Miami or vice versa and see other parts of the state that normally you would not be able to access on just a trip to Miami or just a trip to Orlando. It gives you the option of exploring beyond your initial vacation for a relatively affordable cost. Something to mention is that when it comes to traveling with children, not only does the Smart Lounge have a kids sort of area, but kids under, I believe it's 12 or 14, travel for free with the purchase of any Smart Fare. So if you're traveling as a family and you're wanting to see a little bit more of Florida, go ahead and book those tickets and get those kids on the train for free, because it's something that BrightLine does to allow you as a family to travel and see more. And we've made it to Orlando. After about 6.5, 7 hours or so, I've gone from Orlando to Miami, back to Orlando, and actually both of those trips were on Bright Pink, and now I'm back in, where the heck am I? Orlando. And so now it's time to find an Uber back to the hotel. We'll call it a night, head back to Jacksonville in the morning, but in the meantime, this has been the BrightLine round trip from Orlando to Miami, back to Orlando. Check it out.